Nigeria Info, for the best of news, talk and sports 24/7.
Keeping up with political issues and developments around you, only on Nigeria Info.
And now, Hard Facts.
Hard Facts with Dio.
Hello, good afternoon to you, and welcome once again. It's another edition of Hard Facts at 92.3 Nigeria Info in Herring Port Harcourt. I'm Dio. It's 10 minutes gone past 3 p.m. It's a Thursday, the 8th day, I think it's the 8th day. Yeah, it is the 8th day in the month of September, and it's Thursday. No, it's Wednesday. It's Wednesday. I knew that. Of course I knew that. It's Wednesday. And it's a great day today, as usual. Fine weather, by the way. Thank goodness, no rains today. Well, not over yet. That could still change at any time. But so far, it's been a fine day so far. Great weather, and I hope your day's been as fine as the weather has been, especially in this part. Not sure how it's been in your part, but in this neck of town, in this neck of the woods, it's been quite good actually. A little bright, not too sunny. But definitely no rains, and that's a good thing. Especially these days, it's a very good thing. Yeah, we don't talk about the weather very much, about how fine the weather is, unlike they do in some other countries, but what fine weather we really are having this time around. Welcome once again, Hard Facts. I'm down from 9 till 7, or thereabouts. We keep the conversation going. And, well, I hope that the midweek has met you quite well. A few matters on the agenda today. We'll be taking a look at those shortly. So discuss them in detail every hour between now and 7 p.m. So I do have side comments coming up in a moment. You know the drill. Random stories, random thoughts, which will not be discussed now, of course, until later on. After the major news at 6 p.m. during the open season segment, from then till 7, any matter discussed on the show or mentioned by myself, for example, during the my side comments, every matter will be open for discussion at that time. So after today's side comments, as usual, I do have a round coming up, something in my mind, expressing some thoughts in it. On that matter, I'll take your thoughts of mine till 4 p.m. Now, before we've got the business news coming up, and it's another Wednesday, midweek edition of the show. As usual, we've got Canvas, the Niger Delta Roundtable coming up. Brought to you by SPDC. We're discussing, as usual as well, the growth and progressive development of the Niger Delta region. Topic on the show today, COVID-19 third wave, Delta variant, vaccine and vaccination. That's what we're going to be discussing. And I'll be having as a guest for the show a seasoned medical practitioner, Dr. Nosive Maduka will be my guest for that conversation. To join us for it between 4 and 5. Now, if we've got the news updates coming up and we delve into some of the matter. Are bandits committing crimes against humanity? Are they? Well, Serap believes so. And we'll look at that. That story you can find details in the Vanguard newspaper. But that story is captioned, Serap to ICC declare Zamfara other student abduction a crime against humanity. And the Social Economic Rights and Accountability Project, SERAP, has petitioned the International Criminal Court, the ICC, of the need to investigate the growing cases of abduction of students in several parts of northern Nigeria, particularly the recent abduction in Zamfara State. Now, SERAP also urged it to investigate the closure of schools and the persistent failure of Nigerian authorities at both the federal and state levels to end the abduction considered as crimes against humanity within the jurisdiction of the ICC. So we'll look at that. And especially if you put that side by side, what the definition of crimes against humanity is. And I did check, by the way, and that sentence is very true. Google is your friend indeed. All right, so you ever have any question, you're having a conversation with some person, someone tells you the story on WhatsApp, what's up, they always say, just Google it. You know, you have a duty, you have a responsibility to enlighten yourself. Okay? And don't let someone tell you, it's on WhatsApp. It's on WhatsApp. No, Google it. So I did some Googling, and according to the United Nations, the Rome Statute of the International Criminal Court, crimes against humanity, Article 7 is captioned Crimes Against Humanity. Number 1. For the purpose of this statute, crime against humanity means any of the following acts when committed as part of a widespread or systematic attack directed against any civilian population with knowledge of the attack. A. Murder. B. Extermination. C. Enslavement. 2. D. Deportation or forcible transfer of population. E. Imprisonment or other severe deprivation of physical liberty in violation of fundamental rules of international law. F. Torture. G. Rape, sexual slavery, and forced prostitution, forced pregnancy, and forced sterilization, or any other form of sexual violence of corporate or comparable gravity. H. Persecution against any identifiable group or collectivity on political, racial, national, ethnic, cultural, religious, gender as defined in paragraph 3, other grounds that are universally recognized as impermissible under international law in connection with any act referred to in this paragraph or any crime within the jurisdiction of the court. I. Enforced disappearance of persons. J. The crime of apartheid. K. Other inhumane acts of a similar character intentionally causing great suffering or serious injury to body or to mental or physical health. And for the purpose of paragraph 1, A. Attack directed against any civilian population means a course of conduct involving the multiple commission of acts referred to in paragraph 1 against any civilian population pursuant to or in furtherance of a state of organization of a state or organizational policy to commit such attack. Alright, so based on this and possibly other definitions we might consider, are these bandits committing crimes against humanity? We'll look at that, and hopefully I'll be having a guest for that. Still working on speaking with an official of SERAP on that matter. We'll see how that goes. So I'll simply get your take on it in the 5 o'clock hour after the news update. We've got headlines 5:30, and then the major news at 6 p.m. and open season afterwards till about 7. When the show comes to an end, the sports gang will be in by that time to bring you extra time. So there you have it. The show as planned for today. There might be tweaks though. You never know. These things happen. If there is, you will definitely find out. Of course, you have to be listening to know that, wouldn't you? So let's get on with the show right now with today's side comments. Random stories, random thoughts that caught my attention as I checked out the news earlier today. Starting from the home scene, here in Port Harcourt. Now, Governor Nyesom Wike met with business owners this morning at the Government House in Port Harcourt. The governor told them that the state government will not hesitate to sanction any organization that pays VAT to FIRS. Let's hear what the governor had to say about this development. An interesting one, really. But just let's take a listen to the governor first.
The chairman of is here, and the Commissioner of Finance, they are here. From this September, must collect all our VAT. If you like, play a kind of your plans. We're heading for the advice from our head office. You also listen to the office by the time I seal up the premises. The banks, all those plans people are playing, better tell the big men, I will shut them down. So please tell the authorities to go and pay to our revenue board, which of course you have been told how to do it. If FRS saying that, look, we have appealed in order, stop being responsible from collecting the money.
Well, it is clear, and I've listened to the position of legal minds on the subject matter, and it does make sense, really. I mean, the existing law right now, based on the judgment of the Federal High Court of Port Harcourt, is that Rivers State, and by consequence, other states in the country, have the legal right to collect VAT at this time. So there's no way around it. And even though the federal government, through the FIRS, sought a stay of execution of that judgment, the courts declined that and struck it out. Now they filed an appeal, but obviously in law as well, an appeal does not amount to a stay of execution. No, it does not. So, and FIRS cannot stop the implementation of a judgment of a court. It's not possible. The FIRS has no such powers, and it's simply, I was going to say in Wonderland, but no, they have to be in a bad place. Wonderland, I think, is a good place. So they have to be in hell or somewhere, having some nightmarish experience for them to think that they can, just by some statement, delay the implementation of a court judgment, especially one of this gravity. So I imagine that the companies will begin remitting their VAT to the River State government, but I have no doubt once again that this matter will go as far as the Supreme Court, and it will be interesting how things play out. And not just as regards this matter, because for me there are, and you may have deciphered this also, but there are far-reaching consequences to, very likely, when this becomes the norm, when this becomes law and states are collecting VAT. There are far-reaching consequences. I see this as a major turning point, really, as a defining moment as far as the practice of federalism in Nigeria. And there are very interesting times ahead indeed, very interesting times. But whilst government, in this case the River State government, are doing all they can, and it is commendable, I must say, to enforce the spirit of federalism, and that's a good thing. That will give the states more money, all of that, and that is some kind of progress. It is progressive, no doubt, but as citizens as well, you must be progressive in your thinking and in your mindset as well. You must play your role also by demanding accountability of your government at every level, at the federal level, at the state level, and at the non-existent local level. You must demand accountability of them. You must be responsible. You must vote people whom you are convinced have your best interest at heart into office, not because they have structure or because they are grand, whatever the heck that means. People who are trusted, people who are trusted and trusted, and that, have something to offer, not people who go to campaign grounds and they are the campaign ground for 1 hour. 45 minutes of the campaign is singing and dancing. Then 10 minutes is for introduction of honorables and excellencies. Then that's 55 minutes. Then 5 minutes is for see there, don't see there. That I see your money, I be there still. See us, but I like us. Oh, they shout us. Yeah, that's definitely not it, really. And of course, while you're wearing t-shirts and face caps and tie wrapper and dancing all over the place. And literally dancing away your future. Literally dancing away the future. For t-shirts and face caps and transport money. Yeah, crazy. Anyways, so that's that. Let's see. Other things that caught my attention on the news today. Still part of the side comments, by the way. So, not surprising. Now, this was on the news earlier today. Where is that news item? Just a moment. Yeah, here we are. Workers at the various ongoing flyover constructions in Port Harcourt abandoned their work yesterday to protest against poor salaries and welfare. The protesting workers marched from Ikoku area to the government house on Azikiwe Road. Some of the protesting workers told our correspondent that the salaries were slashed despite directives from Governor Wike for it to be increased. The workers are also asking for allowances. Let's hear what some of these dissatisfied or disgruntled workers have to say about their situation with their employer.
They are paying us 50,000 naira, sometimes 44,000 naira. We need transport. The wages of Garina is 6,000 naira. With 45,000 naira, what is the purchase? And children is there. No way to go school. JBS staff should be paid according to other staffs. In Lagos State, they are giving them transport. Edo State, Abuja, they are giving them transport. Oh, they look at the way we are walking like elephants and eat like ants. How much are the bills? How much? Close to 5 years. Account, LA 2000, I remove from account. LA 2000. So we want them to increase our salary because our salary is too poor.
This is the second time construction workers under the Julius Berger Company will be protesting over post salary in Rivers State. And when I saw this morning, I just mad. Are this guys serious? I mean, are they serious? Are you listen? Are these people serious? They are stopping. Hey, God have mercy. You are in Rivers State. Listen, in Rivers State. You are stopping Julius Berger from constructing flyover. Something is terribly wrong somewhere. Something is the effrontery, the audacity to stop Julius Berger, to stop flyover construction because you say you are not paid well. Even if they didn't pay you at all. Even if you were not paid at all, can you not? Are you not satisfied? Shouldn't you just see the flyover and be happy, and feel a weight in your pocket as if there was wads or bundles of naira notes there, even though there's nothing there? Shouldn't you be satisfied and feel an overwhelming sense of joy, and want to even offer your labor and your services for absolutely free, in the name and interest of His Excellency's flyovers? Now, well, of course, I was joking or being sarcastic just now. Workers have a right to demand improved benefits if they feel that they're being unjustly treated. But understandably, my sarcasm just a while ago describes the state of things in Rivers State, which is also, in my estimation, a sad development. And I suspect that there might be a strong, a direct, I suspect, allegedly, supposedly, that there might be a strong link, some relationship between that development and this other item of the news. Now, Rivers State government has declared 3 people wanted for alleged criminal activities and harassment of contractors, particularly Julius Berger Nigeria PLC in the state. A statement by the governor's special assistant media, Kelvin Ibiri, listed the wanted men to include Gift Eledwo, Chiboso Glory Ejoku, and Tambari Godwin Barra. The mayor of Port Harcourt City, chairman of Obiapo local government areas and security agencies have been directed to ensure that the aforementioned wanted persons are apprehended and handed over to the police immediately for prosecution. Now, I don't know if these men have committed a crime, but I wish that the Rivers State government will be somewhat more elaborate in explaining exactly what criminal activities they committed and how they harassed contractors. You know, what did they do exactly? Is it because they're asking for agreements with Julius Berger to be fully implemented? Is it because they're asking for better conditions of work or service? Is that it? Does that amount to a crime? I'm not sure that amounts to a crime, but I hope that justice and due process is followed in this matter. I hope so, not just because somebody may have harassed His Excellency's dear JB in the construction of our wonderful flyovers, and then we are targeting people and going after them because they dare to ask questions and raise fundamental issues. I hope that due process once again is going to be followed. But I've said this before and I'll say it again. It's interesting the way that the Rivers State government is protecting the interests of this company, and I wish that the Rivers State government will exert the same energy, the same energy, the same zeal, the same determination in protecting other businesses all over the state, everywhere in the state. I wish that were the same, because assuming but not conceding that these persons have committed a criminal act against the establishment Julius Berger, we have very many similar occurrences throughout the length and breadth of the state, especially in the urban area, in Port Harcourt, throughout Obiakpo. We have all these things playing out every single day, and nobody tells this person to stop harassing those businesses. At best, it's just lip service, let them grow, leave business, and that's it. I mean, businesses are suffering, really, and no one's there to protect them. No one is telling traditional rulers to mind their business and leave companies alone. No one is telling so-called youth groups and women groups and elders groups and all kinds of children's groups to stop disturbing businesses in River State. No one is doing that. What's the special interest in Julius Berger? What is it? Once again, I'm not saying businesses should not be protected. They should be protected, but every business should be protected, not just the flyover business. So I hope we take a holistic look at that situation and address it appropriately. But you guys too, you people too, you people want to stop flyover, and they are telling people something sometimes. You won't be listening. Want to stop flyover, of all things, flyover and Julius Berger, for that matter. You didn't even think it very well. You didn't even think it very, goodness gracious, flyover. Oh, let's see. Was there anything else that caught my attention today? It's just the situation with the strike of the resident doctors. What's going on? Basically, how this administration is handling, the concerns of workers in the country is a very interesting one, and quite disconcerting, I must say. Minister of Labour and Employment, Chris Ngige, says no doctor or health worker in Nigeria is owed their monthly salary. The minister said this yesterday while meeting with the leadership of the Joint Health Sector Union, JOHESU, in Abuja. He, however, said that the money which the federal government owed field doctors and other workers was the 2020 COVID-19 allowance, besides the erase of the consequential adjustment of the national minimum wage and skipping allowance, which cuts across other sectors. For crying out loud, that is part of their salary. Allowances are part of their salaries. Consequential adjustments are part of their salaries. And there are doctors that have been owed for several months in different parts of the country. There are doctors who have been owed. It's remarkable indeed how government representatives, especially the Minister of Labour and Employment, keeps handling these matters. And you only feel like it's a matter of time before the JOHESU down tools and embark on their own strike as well. And you just get the feeling very soon everybody's going to embark on a strike. You just feel that way somehow. It's a terrible situation indeed. And I think that's going to be it on today's side comments. I'd have to go for a break right now, and when I return, let's see. I've got the rounds coming up. I've expressed some thoughts in my mind. You get to express yours in mind to your full. Please stay with us. What those guys self? Fly over. Julius fly over. You went to stop fly over.
What we do goes beyond bringing you the news. We give you a chance to talk about it. Your opinion, your voice.
This is 92.3 Nigeria Info, Port Harcourt.
Your number one news, talk, and sports radio station.
A clean surrounding is a collective effort.
Diseases could be avoided
with good hygiene practice. Be more responsible with how you dispose waste products. The environment will be better looking without litter and exposed garbage. We love our city clean. This message is from 92.3 Nigeria Info.
Keeping up with political issues and developments around you only on Nigeria Info.
And now, Hard Facts.
Hard Facts with Dio.
Hello, welcome back to Hard Factor 90.3 Nigeria Info here in Port Harcourt. I'm Dio. 26 minutes ago before 4 p.m. I'd like to run for just a bit. a sample in my mind of expressing a few thoughts on it, and you're welcome to express your thoughts on mine all the way till 4 p.m. I have very big problems, like a myriad of problems. It's if I were to attempt to put down these problems, it might take up a never-ending roll of parchment, really. It's almost innumerable with the quality of leadership we have in this country and the demeanor of people who are saddled with responsibility. It's almost like they have no idea what to do. And as an example, I was watching some popular TV show this morning, and some lawyer, some SAN was being interviewed, and the discussion centered on the judicial problems we have in the country, which we've had for a long time, but which has taken center stage at this time. And he was expressing his concern and how confounded he was as well, how that leaders in Nigeria, their strategies or their approach to problem solving, and he identified that in many instances, if not most cases, the solutions they bring to solving problems only serve the purpose of escalating that problem. So we have a problem in Nigeria, and Honorable Excellency is proffering a solution to that problem. That solution that he is proffering only succeeds in making that problem worse. And it just makes you wonder and ponder how they process information and how they think and what their motivations are. Because as I've said very regularly, Nigerian leaders are usually the last to know the one thing that they should know. And people stand with responsibilities in Nigeria. So whether it is you are elected to office or you are appointed to some position, they usually don't know what everybody else knows. They usually do not know the one thing they are paid to know. It's just like the police, or security agencies, how they will tell you they don't know. They don't know. They're not our men. And everybody else, literally everybody else in the world, knows exactly where these things are going on, who's doing it, who the perpetrators are. But if you ask the police, they'll tell you that they are not their men. They don't know. That they can't be our men. And you are telling them your men are here doing this right now. They tell you no, they can't be our men. It's an unfortunate cycle indeed. It's a horrific one, and I think it's one of the major things at the bane of our problems. How the people who are being given a responsibility to solve problems have no idea what to do, and even when they make an attempt to solving that problem, they only succeed in making that situation worse. It's catastrophic, really. It's mind-blowing as well. And Nigerian leaders need to understand that they have a great responsibility. Now, there are mistakes that one person can make, and maybe will have a consequence on one person's life, maybe his family, maybe even a community. But there are mistakes that a local government chairman would make. It would have consequences in the lives of millions of people. There are mistakes that government would make and would have consequences in the lives of millions of people. There are mistakes that a president would make, or minister or commissioner, and would have far-reaching consequences. It's almost like they lead or they govern thinking that they are governing their families or their village people, and not aware as to the enormity of the task, the enormity of the responsibility that's been given to them, and how that when they mess it up, as they are very fond of doing, the consequences are far-reaching, and millions of lives are directly and indirectly affected by their continued floundering, wobbling and fumbling. Here's a story from this day newspaper, captioned, Masari, with hindsight, we should never have negotiated with bandits. Here's the story, or at least a bit of it. Katsina State Governor Aminu Masari has said, with the benefit of hindsight, his government should never have negotiated with bandits, let alone grant them amnesty. Goodness gracious! I cannot believe that a governor is saying this in 2021. The whole world knows you shouldn't have negotiated with the bandits or grant them amnesty in the first place. You don't negotiate or grant amnesty to criminals. You do not do that. It is not done. And by the way, we have examples all over the world. By the way, we have examples in Nigeria. It has not worked. It will never work. Here in the Niger Delta, we granted amnesty to militants. Did it improve the fortunes of the Niger Delta region? No, it did not. We have people fainting at the National Assembly, and people are begging others to off the mic. Off the mic. Humongous, outlandishly outrageous sums have been vetted or disbursed to the NGDC over years, and nothing to show for it, nothing tangible to show for it in the Niger Delta region. In spite of all we are fighting for our people, fighting for our people. We granted cultists amnesty in River State a while ago. Has this stopped cultism? Has this stopped killings and sacking of communities? Well, maybe it's not as bad as it used to be. We don't see heads hanging around as we used to in the past, but really, it's never worked. It's never been a positive or appropriate strategy. It never will be. Back to the story. Katsina State Governor Aminu Masari has said, with the benefit of hindsight, his government should never have negotiated with bandits, let alone granted amnesty. Although Masari said he never regretted his decision at the time, he admitted that information available to him confirmed that engaging the bandits was not the right thing to do. Consequently, based on current understanding of the situation, the governor said, remarkable stuff, the governor said he had set in motion plans to prescribe open grazing of cattle in the state. He said once certain structures were put in place for the ranching, nomadic herding would be outlawed in the state. This is unbelievable. And this is not coming from a southern governor. No, not a southern governor. This is coming from a northern governor. From a northern governor. And not just any northern governor, a core northern governor, if I may say so, if I may put it that way. I mean, this person is the governor of a very critical state in Nigeria, and critical not because of its geographical space, critical because it is the state that the president himself comes from. We've been having plenty of back and forth and discussion recent times, but more importantly recent times, regarding open grazing. There have been discussions about it. There have been accusations and counter-accusations. And the South is trying to destroy the Northerners. They're trying to destroy the livelihoods and criminalize Fulani herdsmen. In the past, we had Northern leaders saying, giving credibility to that narrative. Now, and even recently, the president was talking about identifying grazing lands or grazing something like that. And now the governor of Katsina State, where the president comes from, is saying that he's set in motion plans to prescribe open grazing of cattle in the state. He insisted that open grazing of animals should not be encouraged in any form, adding that the practice is even contrary to Islamic doctrines. Oh my goodness. I don't know about Islamic doctrines. He said it's contrary to Islamic doctrines. He is Muslim. He's a northern governor. He's a northerner. He's not a southerner. It's unbelievable, really, and it's just when you think about it from time to time, it just makes you wonder how our leaders think. And let's go back to the story now. Back to the story. Now, Masari had offered marauding gunmen amnesty after negotiations with them. Said, looking back in hindsight, he should not have done that. He said, and I quote, "I do not regret it, but the only thing I can say is that with the benefit of hindsight, I wouldn't have done it. We realized, who are you talking with? Because they do not have an umbrella. They're not pushing for any ideological view. They're not pushing for any religious view. They are simply bandits, criminals and thieves. any person in the forest is a potential criminal and should be dealt with as such. How the governor, His Excellency the governor, did not know this before now, I cannot comprehend. How His Excellency, with all the information available to him, they call them the chief security officer of the state. They know things you and I do not know. They know things. With all the things that His Excellency knew, how he could not have figured this one out before now is mind-blowing. And the consequences of this are far-reaching. People have died, families have been decimated, communities have been sacked, children abducted and kidnapped, been through the most horrific experiences you can possibly imagine. Tons of money paid as ransom by people who do not have this money. Some of them have literally had to sell everything that they have to get their children back, or to get their loved ones back. That's the consequence of what this Excellency has done. Now saying, you know what, it's like we shouldn't have done it. It's like this thing that we did, self. It's like this thing, self. It's like you should have. We didn't look at it well. It's like we didn't. I mean, talking as if he didn't play the right card in what? I mean, that's what you say when you are playing what? You are playing cards and you say, I should have held that. I should have held that general market too. I shouldn't have played that general market. And that hold on, I shouldn't have played that hold on that time. Or when you're playing Ludo. That's double six. I didn't play that double six. I shouldn't have come out yet to that one. I should have taken this guy around this year. I should have gone around to that double six. So that is what you do. It's in that kind of instance you can say, not with people's lives. Not in a scenario like this when the end was known from the beginning, when it's obvious what's going to happen. You can do that when you play double six and you didn't move the right one. And say, if only I played that one, moved that one to that place. You wouldn't have brought me back. I would have won this game. That's what you do. Or you're playing chess and say, no, goodness, I shouldn't have cancelled at that point yet. No, I shouldn't have. The castle made me lose. No, I shouldn't have cancelled yet. No, I should have gone for his, should have exchanged my bishop for his knight there. That's the mistake. That's what you do there. It's unbelievable, really. It's like our leaders don't think about anything. They just think about themselves. Only God knows what goes on in their heads when they're thinking these things. Everywhere you go to, it's the same thing. Nigerian leaders need to be reminded that there are far-reaching consequences for these things, that no matter how people may applaud you and clap for you and pledge loyalty to you and worship you, people's lives are at stake. People's lives literally are at stake. Now, His Excellency in Katsina State has discovered that they made a mistake in discussing with bandits and negotiating with them. Let's hope that this will be the last of the mistakes that they make as far as this matter is concerned, and going forward they address it the proper way. On that note, I end my rant. Thanks for listening. I hope you were not bored. Any thoughts on my let's hear it. The numbers are the same, line to open. We got 0817 923 0002 or 0003 or 0007. We're live on facebook.com /Nigerian for PH, and WhatsApp is on 0809 0306416. Please keep it brief and straight to the point, and once you call his answer, do turn down the volume of your radio set. We're also live on YouTube. Yes, we are. Just search for Nigeria Info PH on YouTube. Let's see. I believe I do have messages now. Let's take Henry from Eagle Island. Hello, Henry. You're welcome. Go ahead.
Yes. Good afternoon, Dayo.
Hi, go on.
I'm sure you don't have all the information like they do. Because the other thing you didn't remember very quickly is that the governors think like those who play naira bets. They want to cash out. So I'm sure you are not adequately informed to imagine that when those decisions are taken or when those issues pop up, the first thing on their mind is how do we benefit from this almost immediately. So they are naira bet players. They are not actually chess players or Ludo or all of that we mentioned. You can imagine the magnitude of. In fact, it's just like insulting our sensitivity after messing up. Because how can the governor at this point come out and be saying things like that at that level, and with all of these issues ravaging us for the longest time, and you've not found a solution, and it's at this point you're saying these things? I mean, it's just like insulting us, sincerely.
Anyway, quite good to hear from you. David from D-Line, hello, go ahead.
Yes, Dayo, good afternoon. First of all, a military approach, you can use the carrot and the stick approach. There are places in the world where negotiation with these rebels have actually worked. The FARC rebels, section of the FARC rebels led by Castro was negotiated with in the 90s, and then that led to the whittling down of the powers of the FARC rebels in Colombia.
And where are the FARC rebels now?
Government. Hello?
Where are the FARC rebels now?
The FARC rebels, they are still in existence,
okay, all right.
Not in the majority as they were
in
the 90s and the early 80s in Colombia. Okay, and the drug business in Colombia has drastically reduced, rather. And that is the power of negotiation. In military tactics, use the carrot and the stick approach. If it doesn't work with the carrot approach, then you can use the stick. I think the governor, if you are in the position of the governor, every governor wish well for his people. Whatsoever that will lead to gaining peace, that is his utmost priority, because protection of life and property is top priority and principal responsibility as a government. So at that very point, the only thing he sees and before him is negotiating with these people, trying to grant them amnesty, and he says that's the cheapest way to gain peace.
David,
follow that path.
David, your point is clear, but as we end the conversation, I would like you to do just one thing when you drop this call, as I have just done right now. Just Google FARC rebels and read the recent stories that have come up. I have several headlines here, but I don't have the time to read them out. So just Google FARC. David, we're not having a conversation. Just Google FARC rebels and see what comes up after.
After the negotiation by the former president of Colombia.
Okay, great to hear from you, David. Once again, just Google FARC rebels and see what comes out. If they debut from Lumodima, you're welcome. Go ahead.
Yes, good afternoon, Daya.
Hi, go on.
The problem is not only our leaders, even we, the followers, dangerously divided along party lines. Anything that a man in Party A does, every person or supporter of Party A finds no fault with that. The reverse becomes the case. When a man in Party B does the thing, everybody in the opposing camp will be shouting, "Crucify him." A lot of Nigerians faulted that move by Governor Masari when he made it. You see, you don't negotiate with these people. But there is another angle to this, Dial.
Yeah.
Do you know that Gumi is also calling for amnesty for these bandits?
Yeah, I saw that headline a couple of days ago.
They are giving amnesty. There will be no peace in the north or in the entire Nigeria. Let me tell you, in 2012, 2013, if I'm not mistaken, when His Royal Majesty, the former Emir of Kano, former CBN governor, was in his office as CBN governor, he once said that the amnesty in Niger Delta was responsible for the insurgency in the north. I had him clearly at that time. I was wondering how a leader in his capacity could make such a public utterance. So these are the things. It's a combination of so many factors. But I thank Governor Masari. I applaud him for finding his fault, his mistake, and publicly acknowledging it. Let other leaders acknowledge their mistakes, including Mr. President, in this matter of insecurity in Nigeria. There are lots to be told the public that we have not had yet. Thank you very much.
Welcome, Freddie, via Facebook. Got a comment here. Donald Agbaje goes, it's quite unfortunate how so-called leaders think. This is to let you know that most of the governors are the problems of this country because they feel like they own the state and they run it as it pleases them. That is what we get as a people when we can't come out with our voters' cards and vote them out. Instead, we sell our vote for a piece of mail and the rest is history. Also via WhatsApp. Good afternoon. The failure of leadership at all levels in this country is alarming. Why should a right-thinking person negotiate with Boko Haram or bandits that are killing innocent citizens, destroying social infrastructure built by taxpayers' money? The ethno-religious nature of this country has kept us where we are. Victor from Oyigbo. Yeah. Okay. All right. Good day, Dial. Oh, well, nothing surprised me in this country again. That's what one gets when we elect people. They're introduced to us by lifting their hands up and eating corn and frying akara and eating with primary school students. I keep saying this. Our leaders from top to down are clueless. They get into office without a vision for the people, but mission to gather wealth for themselves and generations to come. Timothy Nyama from Abulema sent that. Good day. In the 21st century, we have the leaders that operate as if they are in the 16th century. So unfortunate. About Masari's comment on open grazing, it's good that the goat died in the house of the fowl. If the fowl had died in the house of the goat, they would have said that the goat killed the fowl. That's from Joe. All right, George. Sorry, may need to call back. Still via WhatsApp. Good evening, Dan. This is when we vote people who are not prepared for leadership into positions, and instead of taking decisions that will benefit the people, they are doing guesswork. How will he have known when he's not on ground with no structures? That's Ubong from Moji. Well, Ubong, I strongly disagree with you on that. I'm sure one of the reasons His Excellency was voted into office is because he has structure and he's on ground. That you're going too far. Here in River State, we granted Donwani amnesty, another cultist, and it was a welcome development. It has happened here in River State, not some John. Yeah, I did reference that a while ago. I did. George on the line. Hello, George. You're welcome. Please go ahead.
Yeah, Dio, good evening.
Hello, go on, George.
Let me say that most times we don't absolutely blame the governors when things like this happen. Sometimes a man who is on fire sometimes can be confused, and they give fire to see that sometimes he feels that it will work out for him, but later when he will come to his senses and also to know that these things which first initially will work for him may have not worked the way he expected. That is why if you look at the governor of Kaduna State, from the onset has said that he will never engage in any discussion with these people. But in his own part, in the governor of Kaduna State said that that is the way to go. You understand? But he has come to know that it is not really helping.
And what has been the consequence of that? George, and what has been the consequence of that?
The consequence may be that life may have lost, just as he said.
Okay, but the governor was just confused, and it's okay. You know, it doesn't matter that lives were lost.
Yes,
it was just confusion.
Exactly, my brother. But he has come to the normality of life to know that what he thought was to work didn't work. So that has to be changed and applied. So that is what he's talking about. Thank you.
All right. I mean, it just takes a few people, some people losing their lives. You know, I mean, you know, these things you have to try these things. You know, these things. Nobody knows the future. Nobody knows the future. So sometimes you just have to try. You know, it's try and error. These things are try and error. You know, you try this one, doesn't work. People, about maybe 50 people die. Then we'll try this one too. We'll see whether it will work. 100 people die. Okay, we'll try this one. Maybe 200 children are kidnapped. Okay, that one did not work. Okay, let's try. So we'll just be trying different things. You know, we'll be trying different things until we find the one that will work. But while we're trying different things, because we're confused, and I know that caller meant it in a different context, but he's right actually. They are confused. The sad part is that you don't elect people into office to get confused. That's not why they elected into office. You don't have a right to be confused. You're elected into office to solve the problem. Confusion cannot be an excuse or a reason why you cannot function and save people's lives. And how we can even make the excuse of confusion on their behalf completely overwhelms me. I'm flabbergasted by that, really. It's confused. That's why he's doing trial and error. But once again, if I'm confused as to what to wear, maybe if I wear suede shoes instead of synthetic leather and it rains, I could damage my suede shoes. It may have cost me a small bundle, but that's the worst part of it. Maybe I really like the shoes or even have a sentimental attachment to it, but that's where it ends. But in this case, people die. They're different. People die. It's 4 p.m. A break for the business news. Canvas and Adedayo Roundtable is up after that. Please stay with us.